Welcome back if you've just rejoined. Apologies for the continuing trouble. I don't know why we're having so much trouble today. And just one of those things might be the heat. We'll just need to wait for our other players to rejoin. You can see I was just asking you, in which musical lineup were Rotten, Vicious, Cook and Jones back in 1978? Welcome back everyone who's rejoined us. That is most of the people who were with us before. If we have at least someone from the hedonists and at least somewhere, there we are, that's another one in. Alright, well I think we're mostly back on. So, question 4. Musicians with the surnames Rotten, Vicious, Cook and Jones were in the 1978 lineup of which band? I was asking you just as we dropped. I'll give you question 5 as well. Question 5. The National Maritime Museum is located in which borough of southeast London? And I'll move us along a little because we're losing time with all of these disconnections. Question 6 is picture 9. We got some musical instrument parts. Can you name these 6 bits of musical instruments? And question number 7. Can you tell me what type of sofa shares its name with North Derbyshire's largest market town? What type of sofa shares its name with North Derbyshire's largest market town? And question number 8. It's Mystery Voices. Listen in carefully. I'm going to play you 3 people are talking. All you got to do is work out who they are. I'll play them once, give you a moment, play them again.
Number 1.
I think it's one of those things, though, where I look at my show currently and I think there's maybe 300 jokes in the show. And I think I couldn't predict which one is going to cause the next controversy. I just couldn't. So what are you going to do?
Number 2.
Well, it's just extraordinary. I mean, you know, it's such a great series. I thought that the chat would get some attention. But I just never imagined that it would be anything like this. It's so exciting, but it's quite shocking, really, isn't it? I mean, the whole world's gone mad. What's really wonderful, I think, is that this is a whole new audience who, you know, in a lot of cases, they've never heard of me, and I love that.
Number 3.
You get a little bit of rivalry going. We had a big rivalry with the Beach Boys. I suppose I had a little one with Paul Simon. It's good. I had one with John, rivalry with John. You know, if he'd write a good one, I go, oh God, I better write something better.
Number 1.
I think it's one of those things, though, where I look at my show currently and I think there's maybe 300 jokes in the show. And I think I couldn't predict which one is going to cause the next controversy. I just couldn't. So what are you going to do?
Number 2.
Well, it's just extraordinary. I mean, you know, it's such a great series. I thought that the chat would get some attention. But I just never imagined that it would be anything like this. It's so exciting, but it's quite shocking, really, isn't it? I mean, the whole world's gone mad. What's really wonderful, I think, is that this is a whole new audience who, you know, in a lot of cases, they've never heard of me, and I love that.
Number 3.
You get a little bit of rivalry going. We had a big rivalry with the Beach Boys. I suppose I had a little one with Paul Simon. It's good. I had one with John, rivalry with John. You know, if he'd write a good one, I go, oh God, I better write something better.
And on to question 9. The words banshee, hooligan, and bog originate from which European language? Banshee, hooligan, and bog. And let's do question 10 and then the music round marking. Question 10 is always picture 10, and we got some more overlapping things for you. 5 points on this one, one for each combined answer. We got a combined Bond films, combined underground stations, combined chemicals, combined books, and combined bones. Alrighty, time for the music round marking on the music. Music round marking on the music, as if that wasn't apparent. Our first song, that's all the way back in 1963, and it was the Crystals, the song, Then He Kissed Me. Into the 70s, we had Ladies' Night, and that was Kool and the Gang. My second favourite band called K and the Gang. Into the 1980s, we have With or Without You, and that was by U2. With or Without You by U2, everyone got that. Then, in the 90s, it is called Man, I Feel Like a Woman. It's Shania Twain. Feel Like a Woman. Sounds like more of an exhortative, a different exhortative, so only half a point. It's Man, I Feel Like a Woman. No one put the exclamation mark in, but I'll allow that. Into the 2000s, it is Mojo, possibly Mojo, with Lady brackets Hear Me Tonight. Lady Hear Me Tonight, Mojo or Mojo. I guess half a point for Lady. Just so it's got Hear Me Tonight in brackets, I said, didn't I? So, okay, no, a full point for Lady. Lady will do. We don't need the parentheses. Then into the 10s, it's Panic at the Disco, and the song is High Hopes. Panic at the Disco by High Hopes. No, hang on. High Hopes by Panic at the Disco. One more time. We had Then He Kissed Me by the Crystals. Ladies' Night, Kool and the Gang. With or Without You by U2. Man, I Feel Like a Woman, Shania Twain. Lady, Hear Me Tonight by Mojo. And High Hopes by Panic at the Disco. Question 11 now. I'm going to skip the spot prize because we're running late and no one's entering. I think I'm going to take an executive decision and say that seeing as Jane has 2 spot prize wins in the bank and no one else is standing up to do a tie-break with her, we're going to award her some memorabilia, and much does she deserve it. Well done, Jane. Question 11. Which Tony Award-winning musical features the title character with his arm in a cast, writing a letter to himself? Which Tony Award-winning musical features the title character, arm in a cast, writing a letter to himself? And question 12 takes us to picture number... What does it take us to? Picture number 11. It's some Summer Olympics logos. Can you name 6 Olympiads from these 6 logos? And question 13. Which American tennis player has been beaten 3 times by Roger Federer in the Wimbledon singles finals? Who's been beaten 3 times by Federer in the Wimbledon finals? I'll also give you a scores update. Things developing as you might expect there. Sounds a bit hippie to me. Struggling in the music on 51, losing a place to the Footlins on 53.5, but the Hedonists, Kareen must be playing, for they have got all 12 right, but well done, especially if you got them without her. They're on 62. That's a pretty commanding lead after 2 rounds. Question number 14. It's everyone's favourite. It is Total Musical Chaos. I'm going to hear you. I'm going to play you a genuinely upsetting series of little 1-second snippets of music. All you've got to do is try to unpick who the performing artists are. They will be played to you 3 times in fairly prompt succession. 6 artists to identify. Here we go.
1. 2. 3.
Question 15 takes us to another picture. Picture number 12. We've got some pictorial paraphrasing for historical figures. Can you identify 5 people from these clues? Question 16. Which clothing brand, which was founded in 1972, shares its name with a 1971 Oscar-winning film, partly set in Marseille, minus the? Which clothing brand, founded in 1972, shares its name with a 1971 Oscar-winning film, partly set in Marseille? And question 17, it's another picture. Can you give me some 2010s UK number 1 singles? Feel like we have too much in this quiz today, which is reliant on recent musical knowledge. But so it goes. 4 2010s UK number 1 singles with the vowels removed. Can you get all of them? Question number 18. What V refers to a leaf with two or more colours? What V refers to a leaf with two or more colours? Final picture for tonight. It's picture number 14. We have got 8 cities for you to identify. If you get all 8, their initials will give you a country. That means 9 points available on this one. 8 capital cities and a country. And our final question for round 2. Which French painter created the artwork Vincent van Gogh painting sunflowers? Which French painter created the artwork Vincent van Gogh painting sunflowers? And being the end of round 2, I'll give you a few minutes to get those answers finalised before we move on to the wipeout round. Welcome back, everybody. It is time to go to the next page on your answer sheets because that is wipeout time. Wipeout time. You need to click through to your wipeout answer sheets. You know the score in the wipeout. The last letter of each answer is the first letter of the next answer. If you get all 6 of these wipeout questions right, you get a bonus 2 points. If you get any wipeout question wrong, you lose all your wipeout points. So be careful before you guess. I think that's everything you need to know. So here we go. Wipeout question 1. Oh, hang on a second. I see that. We have one. Now, why is this not up to date with that? Oh, I see. I'm still. I'm sorry. I was still looking at the comments from an earlier round. So the hedonists have gone ahead. Just bear with me a moment. I will send you a link. You're just going to have to do another, basically click through another round 2, and I'll sort it out at my end when your new wipeout answers come in. Just give us a second. Right, so yes, here you go, Sheila. Hopefully, if you just follow that link that I've sent you, it will take you straight through to a new answer sheet. So just to click on from round 2, and I'll sort it out at this end when you just send the wipeout answers through on that. There we go, panic averted. What else is happening? Panic, panic, panic. We have, sounds a bit hippie to me, trying to decide whether they can add a late answer if they're marking themselves. I guess if your team picks up the extra marking, then you have the prerogative to put in a couple of late answers while no one's looking. Oh, I'm going to stop you. There we are. Excitement abounds. Right, where were we? Wipeout question 1. In English, of all of the one-word country names that end in land, L-A-N-D, which one comes last, alphabetically? Of all the country names that end in land, which comes last, alphabetically? Wipeout question number 2. The horse Rocinante, described as awkward and past his prime, belongs to which literary Spanish character? The horse Rocinante, described as being awkward and past his prime, belongs to which literary Spanish character? Wipe out question 3. You tell me who wrote the music for the stage adaptation of the film Billy Elliot. Who wrote the music for the Billy Elliot musical? Wipe out question number 4. What is the term for the lifestyle of practicing non-sexual social nudity in private and in public? What is the term for the lifestyle of practicing non-sexual social nudity in private and in public? Wipe out question 5. What 7-letter word appears in the name of the honorary top rank in both the Royal Air Force and the British Army? What 7-letter word appears in the name of the honorary top rank in both the Royal Air Force and the British Army? And finally, a question to bring a long run of weekly questions to a close. Wipe out question 6. What term for someone who is acting erratically derives from the Latin for caused by the moon or moonstruck? What term for someone who is acting erratically derives from the Latin for caused by the moon or moonstruck? Righty, that is the end of another Wipeout round. You have just a couple of minutes to finalise those Wipeout answers and get them submitted. And then we will be coming back to do all the markings. See you in a moment. Alrighty, I just need to connect up the two sets of answers from the headness, and then we are going to be hot to trot with the marking. Okie dokie, they should be populating for you as we speak. I'll just give that a moment. There we are. So, let's get to the marking. Eyes down, listen in. Question 1. Our anagram. The Sounds a Bit Hippie team got it just in the almost the nick of time. Oh, hang on, I've got a info from Sheila. Sheila, I have your... Yeah. Well, the headness have already announced that they've wiped out. So that could open it up a bit, but we still need to go through the rest of the marking, so it won't save us too long. Where were we? So our movie for the anagram was Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange we were after. Then we have question 2. The sugar-making byproduct is molasses. We then have some miracles. Good old Jesus. He did walking on water. He did the feeding of the 5,000. We'll accept 4,000. They weren't great at counting back in the day. We have turning water into wine. And finally we have raising, or perhaps resurrecting, Lazarus from the dead. Walking on water, feeding the 5,000, turning water into wine, and raising Lazarus from the dead. Blessed are the cheesemakers indeed. Question 4. Rotten Vicious Cook and Jones were in the Sex Pistols. Question 5. It is the Royal Borough of Greenwich that hosts the National Maritime Museum. The Royal Borough of Greenwich. Question 6. The instrumental parts are, on the trombone, a bell and a slide. On the piano, it's the sustain pedal. On the violin, it's a bridge. On the clarinet, it was a reed. I think it was a clarinet. And finally, on the guitar, it was a fretboard. Bell, slide, sustain, bridge, reed, and fretboard. The town with the sofa is Chesterfield. The voices, Jimmy Carr. When all of your jokes are potentially massively offensive to almost everyone, maybe that says something other than it's impossible to tell what to drop. Anyway, Jimmy Carr. Number 2 was Kate Bush, enjoying her newfound fame courtesy of Stranger Things. And finally, Paul McCartney, the third Paul McCartney. Carr, Bush, McCartney. Banshee, Hooligan and Bog come from Irish or Gaelic, if you prefer. Then our double barrel answers, 1 point for each pair on this one. We've got Dr. No, Time to Die, Balham Smith, Tin Diem, A Christmas Carol of a Twist, and Ol Nasal. Did that make sense? Doctor, No Time to Die. Then Balham Hammersmith. Now someone did put Fulham, and I'm not sure there's a Fulham tube station. Let's just check on the internets. There's Fulham Broadway, isn't there? I think we can accept Fulham given the existence of Fulham Broadway. What did exactly it say here? London Underground stations. Is Fulham Broadway? All right, maybe half a point for Fulham. Because it's not quite right, but it's not that wrong. And what more can you ask for? Then Tindium, A Christmas Carol, Oliver Twist, and the ulnar and nasal bones. Well done if you got that one. Question 11. Dear Evan Hansen was what we were looking for. I like Phantom of the Opera as a suggestion. I'm not sure it really scans. Our Olympic host cities were Athens, then Tokyo, Rome, Los Angeles, Rio de Janeiro, and finally Helsinki. Athens, Tokyo, Rome, Los Angeles, Rio de Janeiro, and Helsinki. The man beaten by Federer, not Sampras, I'm afraid. I don't think they overlapped at all, I would go so far as to say. Maybe they must have played at some point, you might think, but not sure in a proper competition. Andy Roddick we were looking for. Andy Roddick. Question 14. Total musical chaos. We were looking for Europe, BTS, The Killers, Dolly Parton, Lady Gaga, and finally Green Day. I think that was the riff from American Idiot, was it? Europe, BTS, The Killers, Dolly Parton, Lady Gaga, and Green Day. Our historical figures, did you work them all out? We had Augustus, not Claudius, Augustus. Then Napoleon, Winston Churchill, Horatio Nelson, and Francis Bacon. Bad news if you're a vegetarian. Francis Bacon. Question 16. The clothing brand and the film are the French Connection. Italian Job. Where do you think Marseille is? Then question 17. Missing vowels. We were looking for. I can see this hasn't been that easy necessarily. We know speak Americano. All About That Bass. One Dance, and Are You With Me? Never heard of any of them except All About That Bass. So it goes. We speak no Americano. All About That Bass. We know speak Americano, I should say. Keep wanting to do that backwards. All About That Bass, One Dance, and Are You With Me? Question 18. The colourful leaf is variegated. Question 19. Are cities? 9 points available here. 8 cities in a country. Belgrade. Athens. Riga. Bucharest. Amsterdam. Dublin. Oslo. Sofia. That spells Barbados. I think you've all got 9 there, so well done. And the French painter for question 20 is Paul Gauguin. That's how I say it, Paul Gauguin. Onwards to the Wipeout round. Wipeout question 1. The last land in English is Thailand. Thailand we were looking for. That is followed by Don Quixote with Rosinante the horse. Elton John did the music to Billy Elliot. The non-sexual nudes are naturists. The top rank in the Air Force and the British Army is a Marshal, Field Marshal or Air Marshal respectively, I believe. And finally, if you're still playing Quizcazoatl after all this time, you are probably a lunatic. A lunatic for the final point. That, as ever, will take just a moment to filter through the intertubes. While we wait for that to get confirmed, actually that's pretty much done. Oh! Tell you what, it is a humdinger. Oh no, it's humdung away again. That's interesting. Just been a big change of scores there for some reason that coming through to me. Not quite sure what represents what was represented there. May have to check in a minute. I'll just take a moment to remind you, if you would like to make a donation to Médecins Sans Frontières in our honour, we would be very grateful for it. Let me just see whether I can see what was going on there, because sounds a bit hippie, just spontaneously lost about 9 points. Slightly unexpectedly. Where are we? It's pretty much in good order. Alright, well I think those marks are as they ought to be. So, having briefly thought it had all turned around, I can tell you that in third place on 104.5, we have Sounds a Bit Hippie to Me. In second on 108.5, it's the Footlins, which means that despite wiping out a strong, a top place in rounds 1, 2 and 3, have carried the hedonists through, 4 points ahead of the Footlins on 112.5. Even without Eric, they remain supreme, 2 wins on the trot. Well played, well done for coping with the technology. I will hope to see all of you in 2 weeks' time. On the 19th of July, I guess that would be. In the meantime, enjoy yourselves. Enjoy the summer if you're up north. Enjoy the winter if you're down south. I'll see you then.